Hello, hello. Today we are going to slip stitch these two squares together and put them on this ornament. So I am going to take the wrong side, so the back side of my squares, and smoosh them together. So if you remember from the previous tutorial, I didn't fasten off just because it's one less tail I have to sew in at the end. You can fasten off if you'd like and then start in a corner or wherever you'd like. It's completely up to you. But I like to just kind of start where I left off. So I'm going to look at my stitches here. And I'm going to see that this is the top of this one here before we start working in my corner space. And I want to kind of line them up so that I'm working into the same stitches here. I'm just going to insert my hook into both of those stitches so I don't lose my space, okay? And all we're doing is yarning over and pulling through. And we're just going to do that all the way around. So we're going to get both V's on our hook from this square, both V's on our hook from that square, yarn over and pull through. Do to the next one here. And once you get them going and lined up, it's very, very easy. Just a simple slip stitch. It doesn't matter what side you do it on. We're not doing anything fancy in the corners. We just follow the V's and slip stitch them together. Need a little bit more yarn here. There we go. You don't need to do it tight. They will be stretched over an ornament, so just easy peasy. Okay, the V's from this square and the V's from that square, slip stitch. Okay, I'm gonna pause because this is actually my ornament and I saw that I did not cut my tails off. Bad Mallory. Clean that up before I get too far ahead of myself here. Okay. Where were we? Slip stitching. I'm going to work my way all the way around, and I'm going to leave that last top of the square open so that I can squeeze the ornament in. But it's definitely easier to just do 3 sides of the square before putting the ornament in. So I'm going to work my way all the way around. One more side. Oops. Keep running out of yarn. Okay, so I've got this little opening here. So we kind of left off over here, and this is why I like to leave off. Because this side is done now, I can just pop my ornament in, finish off the shoulder of the ornament. Hang on while I wrestle this thing in here. And then I can resume talking. Can't wrestle and talk at the same time, folks. Okay. So we've got our ornament in there, kind of smoosh it around the way you want it. Now see, this side's basically done, right? So now I just need to keep slip stitching this one closed. You might have to pull, you know, you might need to pull it open a little bit because it does get a little tight, or smush it together so that you give yourself a little wiggle room to get that hook between the stitches and the ornament. It can be a little fiddly, not gonna lie. But fortunately for us, it's only like 4 or 5 stitches. Okay. I'm gonna fasten off. I'm gonna leave, you know, a fairly significant tail, like a few inches here. Okay, so I just slip stitch that, and now I'm gonna sew it in. I'm gonna sew it kind of around, in and out, so that I can tighten up the neck of this ornament. So I'm going to weave, weave, kind of come up over here, maybe go through this one over here, and then I'm just going to go back and forth and see how that just snugs it up. Really easy, back and forth. Hide that yarn. And I mean, it's an ornament, so you don't have to, like, it's not gonna come apart, right? It's just hanging on a tree. Cut that off. Okay, so there we go. We have our ornament. I just think they're the sweetest little thing with a little star, 12-point star in the center. Oh. Hope this was helpful.